Hi again, this is Stephanie Geary Photography, and this is my vlog. Welcome back, thanks for watching. And now by now you're probably thinking, what else she's going to say? Is it all going to make sense? And it makes sense in my head, but not always when I say it back onto camera. But thanks for watching, thanks for staying with me. This really helps me to document my journey as a photographer and to look back at what I've done and what I haven't done, and allow me to go back over them things that I should have done. It also helps me to grow my confidence as a person as well. It's starting to show me areas that I need to improve and where I need to be better. So since I last spoke on camera, there's been a few things that I've been doing. So I have been making more videos to share and put out there. Some of them that I'm still editing at the moment. I've also been I've been having lots of inquiries come in. People who are asking for quotes for weddings, birthday parties, people who are wanting portrait shots. Some of those inquiries don't go anywhere. I give them a price, they don't come back, and that's fine. That is absolutely fine. I used to worry, way before my husband's accident in 2016, when I did wedding photography more alongside my job at the time. I used to worry, and I used to want to make sure I got every photography job in that I could. So I was putting my prices ridiculously low. So I would undersell myself. So I'd give someone a price, and then if they didn't respond to that, I'd respond back to them and knock some money off the amount. I know it sounds crazy, I know it does, but at the time I was just more interested in getting as many jobs in as possible, because I really wanted to make photography my full-time job, but to do that I needed to justify that, and make sure that I was earning enough to give up my day job, if that makes sense. So at the time I was just booking anything and everything and just going with just putting all these cheap quotes out there and not really getting a lot back for it. And what happens is, when you do a cheap wedding photography job, or you underprice yourself, that person who's booked you, they still expect you to work as if you're a 1, 2, 3 grand photographer. So they expect you to put the same amount of work in, and I was professional with each wedding as I can be, but there are times when you have to kind of say you've only paid this amount, you can't get all this with it. But I'm now at a position where I could say that, but at the time back then, I kind of like just I wasn't confident enough in myself or in my business, so I used to roll over and just allowed people to just take more, if that makes sense. So back then I used to worry about any inquiries that wouldn't turn into actual bookings. I used to think that I have to make my prices more attractive, so that people would book me. But I've now come to realise that I don't want to be booked because I'm the cheapest photographer. I want people to book me because I like my work. I want them to see what I've put out there. I want them to see the work that I've got on display. I want them to see the type of style that I go for in my work and in my photography. And I want them to book me for that reason, not because I'm cheaper than the other photographer down the road. I want it to be that price is not an object. So that's basically where I'm at. I'm getting all inquiries coming, and like I say, it used to really bother me, but it doesn't anymore, because I think to myself, well, if I want to be seen as I want to be taken seriously as a photographer. I don't want to just be seen as just a cheap person to book, because people who choosing you because you're cheaper are only doing that because they're looking to cut corners in costs. But you can generally say that those people are still wanting you to do the same work as a higher end photographer. And what you have in there, what you see there, is that people aren't choosing you for your style or your creativity or how your images look. They're simply choosing you just because you're the cheapest one, and they don't care at the end of the day how much work you put in, how much editing you put in. I mean, an average wedding for me in the past, I'd get there for 9:30 of the morning to do bridal shoots. There was only me. I didn't really work with a second shooter, and then I'd work all the way through till like 9:30, 10 o'clock of the evening to the reception, and I'd travel in between each venue, so bride's location, the church, and then the reception, and it was a full day, on my feet constantly, except for half an hour break that I used to contract just to make sure that I had time to eat and get a drink. And I'd do all them hours, and then I'd go away, and I'd put the I used to advise that editing and getting the images back to them would be about 4 to 6 weeks. So for that 4 to 6 weeks, I would be editing that job, but that wouldn't be the only job that I had in. At the time, I was taking in so many jobs. I mean, that final year before my husband's wedding, before my husband's accident, then I think I had 40 different types of photography jobs that I had booked in, from weddings, birthday parties, portrait shoots. There was all booked in all around my job. Some was booked of an evening after work, others were on a weekend, and it was like every weekend was full. So I didn't really have any family time, so it was like constant photography, constant time. So that editing time wasn't just editing a wedding, it was editing 3 or 4 or 5 other weddings as well. So so I've had all these inquiries, and I've got a wedding booked in for May. My first booking of this year that's booked in for May, all done, booking complete. And then I'm talking to a Staffordshire community charity. They've got a few events running from May onwards. Obviously this is more of a voluntary base photography service that I'm offering, but I don't mind that. Not only is it getting my name recognised by other people potentially around Stafford, they connect with radio stations and newspapers and other businesses. Not only is it getting my name out there, it's also the opportunity for me to build my portfolio more and get more images that I can show, and more experience under my belt as well. So I've got stuff like that coming up. So I've got a wedding and some events coming up during the year, and I'm also entering competitions and contests as and when I can. So I've got a couple of competitions that I've entered quite recently, and I am going to a 3-day conference in Coventry in June, a photography conference type thing, and then so I'm looking forward to that. So they have I'm going to do a separate video about that, because so I can get all the information correct. So I've also joined up with a photography group, I suppose you should say. It's hashtag #SheClicks, and it's basically a female photographers group, and then they were founded by this lady, and it's basically a way for female photographers to showcase their work. There are regular contests and competitions for people to put their work forward, exhibitions and events that they can go to, and it's just another way of connecting with other photographers. So I'm looking forward to get more involved with that. So there's a few little bits and pieces going on throughout this next few months, hoping to get more stuff booked in towards the end of the year. I'm also conscious of the fact that my final year of uni starts in September. I've got my interview and portfolio review on Wednesday, which I'm going to start putting my portfolio together for. And I'm conscious of not booking in too much towards the end of the year, because obviously I'll have my dissertation and final project that I've got to be working on as well. So I don't want to fill myself up too much and then end up not being able to do the actual work towards my degree. So that's basically where I am. I've had 10 minutes of rambling at you, letting you know exactly what's going on at the moment and where I am in terms of my photography. It just feels like such a slow climb at the minute, and there are days when I think to myself, is it worth it? But you know, it is, because I'm showing my children that no point in your life is it too late to think, I really want to do this. And photography has always been with me ever since I was like 7, 8, 9 years old, and I played with my dad's old cameras. It's always been there. So for me, it's never too late, and I just think to myself, this is me. Not only am I doing it for me, I'm doing it for my children. So that's basically, I think, the end of my vlog now. And I will be back to explain more about the event that I'm going to in June. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you very soon.